And now, a WBRC Fox 6 Weather First Alert.
Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt back with you, where we now have a tornado warning that has been issued for Lamar County, and it looks like that is going to include southern Marion County, northern Fayette County. I want to give you that first alert here. What we're watching is what you see right here around Beaverton community. This is what we were just tracking. This is Highway 17 back in here. You're looking at Highway 27, the Cruz and Beaverton area. This is actually, that's 278. This is right on top of you here in the Beaverton area, right around White Road. You see right there, that's the little notch that we're tracking. That's Birmingham Road, White Road. As we're looking at Lamar County, could be some damaging winds in here over 60 miles per hour, but indications that we could have a tornado. Mount Hebron Road, Highway 278. If you're watching me, I want you getting to that tornado safe place right now. Beaverton area as well. This is northern Lamar. I want to give you a heads up where this is tracking. I want to give you the most accurate storm track on this. Guin, Winfield. There's the Tucker community. So with respect to the tornado risk, it looks like this is going to stay just south of us here in the Hamilton area. There's a look at storm tracks. Jill's plotting those for you here on the screen. Looks like for us here around the Stewart community, 646. You can see those times of arrival. The Bobo area around 646. That's in right there in the far western part of Fayette County. You're looking at 646. Glen Allen around 651. If we're plotting your towns on here, you're close enough where we want you in a safe place until this passes. The actual warning polygon, Jill, if we can clear this off, back out just a little bit. Again, that does include us right here around Rock City, Winfield, Glen Allen community. We're included in that, but this is far northern Fayette County. Fayette back in here. We mentioned the Bobo community. There it is right there on the line. You can see the warning polygon. Hubbardville looks like this may stay north of us, but we also have some additional storms that we need to watch back in here. See that rotation signature? That's back towards Caledonia, Mississippi. If we follow that storm, that would put this just a bit further south of Vernon and perhaps a little bit closer to Fayette. So with respect to Fayette and areas to the north, I want you watching that second storm as well there to the south. But as we get in here for this warning, let's actually, what's the expiration time on this? Just click on the box there and let's see. 7:15. Okay, so 7:15, that warning will expire, and hopefully it's allowed to expire. Jill, I want to do some real-time analysis, and by the way, this is a line of strong storms in here. I know we don't see a severe thunderstorm warning on this, but with the lightning, the way it's ramping up, I certainly think we could have some winds easily over 40, 45 miles per hour, and that can certainly be strong enough winds to topple a tree. So right there around Hamilton, I know that wind's probably whipping in some of these locations, but as we back the view out, kind of set the stage for you, notice that some more counties, the Weather Service included Tuscaloosa, Pickens, Hale, and Greene counties in the tornado watch a few moments ago because we have some other what we call discrete storms. You can see they're individualized. Those are making their way into West Alabama. So if they do go severe, that's one of the reasons why we have that tornado watch. And we'll probably see some more counties added later on. This goes through 10 o'clock, this watch that we have in effect at the moment. But right now, the immediate concern, and you can actually look at this, you can see right in here, this little hook. That's Highway 278 in Beaverton. Want to get in here really close. Birmingham Road. We're looking at Lamar County, Mount Hebron Road area, and this is where that tornado would be. Let's go to base velocity and take a look at this, Jill. Are we looking at that from Columbus, Mississippi?
Yes. Okay,
so just looking at the velocity products here, and what you're looking at is the winds moving away and towards the radar site. When we look at the velocity, the radar has a capability there to give us that indication, and it looks like right in here, if we can circle this, Jill, right around Beaverton. That's kind of a suspicious area that we need to watch right in there. Guin, you can see the tracks there. There's actually a Guin and Guin here in southern Marion County. Been through these areas many times, and we've seen plenty of these tornadic situations, and you know the drill here. We want you getting to that center portion of your home, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Weeks Road and Reed Road. We're in there showing you the exact location of this. This is where our system's telling us that strongest rotation, Deer Run Road, and that is moving right across, that is actually Seeds Tick Road there across Lamar County, but getting in some of these roadways here to give you that track. It's about to move into southern Marion County. You can see with respect to Fayette, this is going to clip the northern part of the county just based on what we're seeing. We're looking at this from Golden Triangle, actually out of the Columbus radar site, so we're kind of hitting this from multiple angles, this particular storm, and just noticing the track, it may clip that far northwestern part of the county right there. So a first alert weather day as we monitor. We got an active tornado warning now. This is the first of the evening, and it does include northern Fayette, southern Marion, and Lamar County. That warning going until 7:15. Winfield, if you're watching me, this is going to be moving your way. I think Hamilton, some of the actual tornado polygon, you can see that's going to be staying just to the south of us. I want you ready though here, Rock City, Glen Allen, just in case this storm holds together and continues to produce this tornado warning. It's going to be tracking in your direction. Let's go to the big picture, Jill. I want to put this all in future radar mode just quickly here to show you how this is going to be evolving. And this is almost just looking at the radar signature, a carbon copy of some of the model data I was looking at earlier today. We saw this line kind of moving in, but there's going to be little areas out ahead of this where storms may try to form and track southwest to northeast. You can see right here Tuscaloosa back into Pickens County. It's going to be a close call here once we get to around 6:34. You know, if we do have, or 7:34 I should say, if some of those storms are severe by the time they move into Tuscaloosa, you know, we'll have an increasing risk there. We're talking within the hour, so just make sure you're keeping a close watch here. Even further south, I know we've been talking a lot about kind of the first locations that could be impacted, areas to the north and west, but I think further south there, Pickens and Tuscaloosa counties also could be impacted here soon. Jill, I'm going to let you go in a little bit closer. Let's get in there back to street level as we track that one storm over Lamar County, and I just want to look at some of the data with the Weather Service. We could really see that at the end of the news. If you were watching here, we started seeing those indications of that system starting to kind of rotate there, but Highway 278 corridor right now, and back towards Highway 43. I mentioned a few moments ago Guin and Guin, for folks there know where the drive-in theater is. Right there, the Blue Moon Drive-In Theater. It's actually right back at, well, we just zoomed in past it, but Jill, let's back this view out just a little bit here. But there's Guin, and the drive-in movie theater is right about here. So just want to point out a landmark so you know where we're talking about with respect to the possible tornado. That would be right in here. That's where we're getting that signature, and it looks a little bit weaker.
Yeah,
Jill.
I was going to say that when we see those colors that are in the red, that's an indication of strong rotation, and we did notice it. You may have seen us send the alert out on Twitter. It's like, we got to watch that storm. It started to look like it was rotating, and sure enough, our system, which is highly accurate, the shear, look at that, it just beefed back up again. So this still could be a possible tornado. We don't know until, you know, we start to either see debris detected by the radar or it is spotted. So you need to treat it like a tornado could develop at any moment in time. So again, that rotation is strengthening back up again, and it can go through wavering strengths and periods, but Reed Road, that has been crossing across your area, and this is continuing to move off towards the east, about 45 miles per hour. So we're not talking about a ton of time, but you still have Glen Allen, plenty of lead time to get in your safe place just in case this storm does end up producing a tornado. So again, an update on where it is headed next and how fast it is going. So we're talking about a 45 mile per hour moving storm. Glen Allen by about 6:49. We'll give you that first alert. Baysmore, you're talking about 6:52. So these storms, again, for the most part, they've been behaving, but we were waiting to see what's going to happen when they move in to this area that's kind of ripe for strengthening. And sure enough, they unfortunately have beefed up, at least in this area. So we're going to be monitoring not only this storm, but any of the others coming into this environment that is a little bit more unstable. And we've also have plenty of wind shear, all the things coming together together the ingredients favorable for severe weather to develop, and that's why that tornado watch is in effect, because conditions are favorable for potential severe weather. So again, we are continuing to monitor those storms. We just have one area under a tornado warning. And again, Wes, are you seeing any reports or anything like that yet?
Yeah, I'm just watching here, Jill, from the National Weather Service, and also seeing here for our weather watchers. Looks like let's check the debris signature if we can right there with that particular storm. Let's hold this view right here. All right, here's Guin. Marion County High School is going to be right here, okay? The tornado looks like it's tracking just to the south. If we do have a tornado that's you know, producing damage, it's on the ground right now, it would be south right in this area here. We are looking quite a distance there from the radar site, but we're in the polygon, but that's where it's going to be tracking. It's going to move right in here. I mentioned the Blue Moon Drive-In Theater area. There's Glen Allen. Winfield's in here, Winfield Middle School, High School, and Yampertown. That's a community. I want to mention you here in the Yampertown area. If this kind of tracks in that direction, it's going to be moving in that general vicinity. But just looking, it's kind of hard to tell here. This is what we're looking at, is the debris detection. We factor in and see what we look at all the targets here, and what this allows us to do with dual pole radars, we can figure out what's not a raindrop, what might be kind of displaced as far as the uniformity, and that can give us an indication if a tornado has touched down. But basically, some indications based on that, Jill, looks like basically we just got some straight line winds kicking up debris based on what we're seeing right there. Let's get into this closely. It was more defined a few moments ago, and we'll go through. I need to kind of flip through the various velocity products here, because I want to let you know, if you're in Lamar County, that warning and the conditions have improved for us. Lamar County, we are no longer in the warning. You can see this is now pushed into Fayette, northern Fayette, and Marion County. All right, Jill, let's hold it right here. That's where we've got the circulation, right in that area. And it seems like, again, here's Guin, so seeing those rotation signatures just south of you right here. Highway 43, you'll be impacted by this soon. As Jill circles, that's going to be passing right in around Winfield. So from Yampertown to Winfield, I want you in your safe place right now as that closes in. And we can go in even tighter, Jill. Let's get some roadways in here. I mentioned a few moments ago we talked about Highway 43, Highway 278. There's County Road 10. I believe we have County Road 107 also here that this will be impacting. Let me check quickly, make sure we're not missing anything here. We've got the Weather Service issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County till 7:15. So they're also going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. I mentioned Lamar County still watching those storms further south of this particular storm. So if you're watching me around Kennedy and Millport and Vernon, those areas, we could have some strong wind gusts on the southern end of this. But Jill zoomed in, and this is what we call our rotation tracker. And here on First Alert AccuTrack, what this does is it filters out the strongest area of rotation in the storm. We kind of take away all the clutter and look at the most severe component here with this. And that's what you're seeing right now across northern Fayette County, right there around County Road 10. This is around the Hubbardsville area, just not too far from Hubbardsville, just north. And I mentioned a few moments ago the Bobo community included in the tornado warning polygon. Tornado warning polygon, you hear us say that a lot. What are we referring to? Again, we're referring to this outlooked area. We don't have of course, the county-wide warnings anymore. We have more storm-based warnings, and that's what we're looking at with this particular warning here. It's mostly south of Hamilton, so if your weather radio goes off in places like Hackleburg, Bear Creek to the north, this is south of you. But make sure you have a helmet or some head protection. You know, when you go back and you look at some data from April 27, 2011, UAB did a study. 11 out of 21 fatalities were head and neck related injuries, and we really learned a lot. And we actually knew before that you know, having some extra protection, a quilt, a blanket, that's something, a great tool to have in that closet, that safe space you go to. And at this point, you know, if you're in your safe space, stay put here in southern Marion County until this warning expires. Jill's actually backed the view out so you can see here in southern Lamar County. Vernon, I mentioned a few moments ago, This is going to be out around Millport and Kennedy. We do have some suspicious areas here. We go to our rotation tracker, and you can see there are some indications there of a bit of rotation that's happening in the southern part of the county, so we need to keep our eye on that. But this is what we were afraid of. You know, you get these storms going. Obviously, you know, it's just too hot for this time of the year, and we get this kind of instability. And yeah, this one seems like it's trying to kind of hook around. See right there, Jill, I see exactly what you're thinking. That, what I like to call, when you see this old notch in here, that is the mouth of the storm. That warm air is feeding right into that, and you've got a lot of air that's rising, so you end up with kind of a rain-free area, and it gives you this hook-like signature. And even before Doppler radar, we could actually issue, tornado warnings were often issued just based on seeing a hook or seeing a signature like that. But right now, let's get back to the important situation right now, critical situation here across southern Marion County, as we have a tornado warning that is in effect. This was issued at 6:42 right now. We're in continuous severe weather coverage mode, and I've got a feeling we're probably going to have a couple of warnings here and there as the night goes on. I mentioned a few moments ago Yampertown. I knew I was close. There it is right there. So it's just north of the actual warning polygon. But this is running right from Guin, Winfield. Let's get into the city of Winfield here for folks watching me right now in the Winfield area. The middle school in here, you can see right there's County Road 36 into town. That tornado, if we have it, this is where we're getting the strong rotation signature, and that is about to close in here on Winfield. This is now moving in. There is a look at the actual warning until 7:15. Jill, do we have some new storm attributes on this that we can pull up?
It hasn't updated yet. As you can see, the main skid is just to the north of that area. So waiting to see if our system will update and centralize on that area, because I'm really curious if we have the Barron Tornado Index increasing or decreasing. So waiting for the system to update. We certainly have that other cell that has the severe thunderstorm warning connected with it. It has a Barron Tornado Index of 2.5, so that's fairly low. That's where we want it to stay, and so certainly the greatest threat right now from that bulge in the storm is going to be those damaging straight line winds. Also, if we switch over to the Barron button, we might even see some hail out of this as well, so we'll be watching out for that possibility of 1-inch diameter hail and a potential 60+ mile/hour wind gusts. So again, we'll keep a watch on that storm because it has that kind of look to it, as you were talking about, Wes.
Yeah, let's get back in here, Jill, to Winfield. Let's zoom in. I'm getting some reports right now, some unconfirmed reports on social media, maybe some power flashes there in the Guin area. This is really concerning right now. That is Winfield. So, you know, if you're watching me here, Winfield Middle School is going to be located right here. So that's just kind of give you a landmark. Here's where the middle school is located, Winfield, and we're talking right now around, looks like based on the way this is tracking, this is going to be staying maybe not too far. Actually, the high school's here, so not too far from the high school and middle school here. Winfield seems to be kind of ground zero for where the tornado would be at this point. We had those reports back in here around Guin, possibly some power flashes. Now, again, we can't guarantee that we got a tornado on the ground with this. You know, radar, we're still looking at a part of the storm that's elevated, so it's tough to kind of pinpoint. We have storm spotters out there, and if the only one way with radar we can really tell is if we start seeing some debris indications with this. But especially the Winfield area, I just want to stress Bankhead Highway. If you live anywhere in the city, want you in your safe place. Obviously, right now your weather radio is going off. You know what you need to do. Get into an interior room, and I wouldn't at this point try to leave your home and try to outrun this, because it is right now moving into the city. Now, Guin looks like the worst has passed you at this moment, but that's showing up right there over the city of Winfield. Mentioned the Bankhead Highway. If you're watching me around Winfield Elementary School and basically out here around, let's see, here's Winfield, Highway 14 right in here, or County Road 14 to the north. There's Bankhead Highway, so you can see again the timing for this. There's 6:46, and this is where we possibly have a tornado here. Highland Road, that's an area. Jill, we can maybe even go in a little bit closer. I know we were talking about Ridgeway Road and also Highland Road in here. There's a closer look, and yeah, let's tilt this so folks at home can see those names. Might need to go back. There we go. Fawn Grove Road, that's right here where we're we're getting the strong indicator. Highland Road, again, zoomed in across in southern Marion County for a tornado warning. This is where we're getting that strong rotation. See right there? We're looking into the storm, and that is moving past, impacting Winfield, and soon will pass Ridgeway Road. If you're watching us here around Fawn Grove Road here in Marion County, tornado warning until 7:15. Let's back the view out, reset for folks watching us further south. I just want to say, if you're in Birmingham, if you're in Tuscaloosa, later on this evening, it's going to be a long night here. This is going to take this system a while to make its way across the state. We got the First Alert Storm Tracker. We'll try to maybe get some scenes from the Storm Tracker and see what conditions are like here to the north. We have the Storm Tracker in Hamilton, in Hamilton and Marion County, but you can see that's passing to the south. Another one that we're watching closely is southern Lamar County. If you're in the city of Fayette, don't let your guard down. This is one Jill just pointed out a few moments ago. You can see right there a little bit of a kind of a hook-like signature. So these storms trying to ramp up as they develop in areas further south. But right now, at this point, it's going to be a little while. Looks like a few more hours before we start to see some of this getting closer to the I-20 corridor, or at least around Birmingham and into East Alabama. It's going to be late tonight before some of this starts moving into our southeastern counties later on this evening. This is an active severe thunderstorm warning, though, by the way, that we have on this. I often say when you have a tornado watch and you see a severe thunderstorm warning, just be ready to get to the basement or the storm shelter or wherever you go during tornado warnings, just in case that's upgraded. But Jill, let's go back to this one, And okay, this is I-22 here, and this is, I think we're getting an update here from that's one of our storm spotters trying to reach out to us. I'll try to get see if we can.
Damage reports Winfield.
Okay, so we got some damage reports in the Winfield area coming in. So again, I can't stress enough around Winfield. We're talking southern Marion County. We're getting some reports now coming in. Jill, can you add anything to that?
You know, I'm looking back at that correlation coefficient that would show debris, and I've seen some indication that we might have some debris being lofted, and so possible tornado. I would just assume that a tornado is on the ground and maybe causing some damage in the Winfield area. So we've had some reports on social media of a tornado, but you know, we don't have any guarantee yet, and I'm not sure if the Weather Service has reported anything. I'm going to look at the warning itself, because usually if there is an actual report of one, it will say tornado on the ground. So right now it's still saying severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, but I would just plan on, you know, just assume if you're in the path, Glen Allen, you're in your safe spot. Eldridge, places ahead of this that are not in the warning, I would get ready and get in your safe spot, because this thing seems to be holding on. Wes? Yeah,
let's get in here really close on this, Jill, and this is where that tornado would be. You can see it in the radar signature right here. We're getting some reports, as Jill told us. Winfield, looks like that has now passed us here in Winfield. We're looking at Bankhead Highway and areas to the north here. We talked about Glen Allen. You're in the path of this possible tornado as well. Also want to mention this is getting very close here now, just based on what we're looking at with the radar. Let's go back over to reflectivity, or Jill, yes, let's hold it right here, and let's move this back this way just a bit, back to the left here, so we can see some communities in the path of this. This is getting close to Highway 129. So Highway 129, that area will be impacted. Bankhead Road, Highway 129 up to I-22 and Thompson Road area. This is where that tornado would be right here. You can actually see the rotation indications there showing up on the radar. This would be moving back towards, you know, where the Cedar Landing is, moving in that general direction right now. So moving back towards 129, back towards Rock City as we track that back to the north and into, has that been expanded? It looks like still just for southern Marion and northern Fayette County. But if you're watching me here around
back, but still continues until 7:15, so no extension yet.
Okay, Eldridge, if you're watching me here over into Walker County, back towards Carbon Hill, places like that, let's keep a watch on this, and even southern Winston County, Natural Bridge, those areas, just in case this moves over towards the Eldridge area, or actually continues to show indications of a tornado. And I can tell you, it is pouring right now. You go just north of here, we could have some very large hail, as Jill mentioned, with this kind of lightning here to the north, right around the Tucker, the Rock City area. We certainly can have some large hail happening with this storm there as it moves to the north. Let me just see if we have anything. So we've got the Weather Service. They're saying probable tornado debris signature east of Winfield. So we do have a signature showing up, trying to filter through the clutter here. You got a lot of precipitation, but seeing the National Weather Service also kind of evaluating some of that debris signature data coming in, indicating where we may have had some tornado touchdown. We got some debris being lofted showing up in the debris signature. Here's where it's located right now. Moving on through Winfield, and velocity data, Jill, quickly we'll check in on that. It looked as though it might be a little bit more broader as far as, the rotation doesn't look quite as strong. Let's go to storm relative, and yeah, so there's Glen Allen right here. I talked about it a few moments ago.
Weakening a little bit. Let's hope.
Yeah. The rotation doesn't look quite as pronounced, even though you look at just some of the raw reflectivity products. Texas community, I mentioned right here, Highway 129, Cedar Grill area. You know where I'm talking about here in Marion County, but Winfield, the worst, it's moved on through right now. I know it just blasted through there. We're getting some reports in. A lot of folks listening to us here in West Alabama, by the way, in tornado warning coverage. Just a reminder, we're on iHeartRadio, so I know we got a lot of radio listeners out there, folks listening in on the streaming app. So we want to give you certainly the all clear as this severe weather threat passes where you live. But at this point, the tornado warning, the tornado threat, it's ended for Ewan, but it does continue for Glen Allen. It does continue anywhere along Highway 129 towards Rock City here. I-22 corridor, if you're driving or have any friends or family here on I-22 and they're past Jasper traveling towards the Hamilton area, they may want to find a good exit here off of I-22 to just wait this thing out and let it pass on by. The way it's tracking is going to be right at the Marion-Walker County line. It's going to be crossing. This is where the tornado would be, right in this area around Glen Allen. You see there? And that was going to be tracking up towards Lynn. I mentioned Natural Bridge a few moments ago. You'll be in the path of this. Want to give you that first alert right in that direction. Here's Eldridge. Carbon Hill, we're down here. We may see this. I know Carbon Hill, we get nervous. We've had some bad storms move through here, but looks like the way this is moving, that notch, in other words, where the tornado warning's been issued, that may stay just to the north of us. You can see the rotation's not quite as pronounced. Notice we're showing weaker now as we go to First Alert AccuTrack, but a lot of lightning in here telling us that we do have a healthy storm with quite a bit of wind and also some large hail as this moves to the north there and maybe kind of wrapping up. But sometimes these things cycle through, and it's kind of interesting. I know we mentioned the possibility of some individual supercell storms, but we have somewhat of a line here that's coming together into Fayette County. And most of Fayette County, even though you're getting some gusty winds, the tornado warning is just to the north. There's Fowler's Crossroads. I mentioned Hubbardsville a few moments ago. Looks like that primary risk is just north of you. We're talking about the Texas community and the Rock City exit area right there on I-22. You see there where the lightning is being detected. Still no tornado warning on this storm in southern Lamar County. We're also watching this. Jill, you noticing anything out of that particular one?
Not in particularly. I haven't seen the BTI change any, and what that means is the Barron Tornado Index, and sometimes that number, when it gets past about a 6, you probably have a tornado on the ground. So we've been monitoring that. Certainly a large hail and damaging wind threat. Certainly the way that it's bulging out like that, you can get some strong winds. So we want to give folks that first alert in Lamar County, Vernon, Itaji. You're going to be seeing those strong winds and torrential rainfall, and maybe even some hail. So we'll be checking in with our weather watcher, Anthony McDonald, in the Vernon area to see if he encountered any severe weather, things like that. So we'll be waiting to get his report. I'm sure he's probably in a safer place right now while that goes through. And yeah, keeping an eye on this storm that has had a history of potentially producing a tornado. Hey,
Jill, want to get this in right now. Ryan Carty reporting. Ryan's one of our storm spotters, and he just reported at exit at Glen Allen, just observed a tornado on the ground. He said he's got power flashes to the south and west, so that's a storm spotter report coming in out of this right here. We mentioned Glen Allen a few moments ago. Ryan's positioned in here along I-22, so we do have a report from Ryan of a tornado possibly producing some damage here. I'm going to see if I can get Ryan on the phone with me here. Ryan Carty, he's just reporting in, so we've got some confirmation, at least some reports coming in from a storm spotter in that area. He said he was able to see the vortex with that particular storm there, with the lightning as it is at this time of the evening. He was able to actually observe that tornado, but that's what we're getting right now coming in from southern Marion County. We also have, actually I noticed Ryan, he also reported that to the National Weather Service as well. So it's quite a serious setup there across southern Marion County at the moment. I mentioned Highway 129 and areas along Highway 118 right here. That's Highway 118, basically anywhere between I-22, Highway 118 at the moment. That is where the tornado's happening. Jill, let's get in really close here. I want to once again break down some of the roadways and some of the landmarks for folks that are watching us right in this particular area, and let's make sure we're in base reflectivity mode out of Columbus, Mississippi, and let's get into some velocity data. Again, there's Highway 118, Bankhead Highway, Texas area we're talking about to the south, and still seeing somewhat broad rotation with this. I'm going to have to back this view out just a little bit so I can try to get a visual. Yeah, you can see it's still showing up as some weak rotation in here. So, you know, at the moment, just nothing really grabs my attention here as far as a strong, you know, this thing may have already produced a tornado and then it's kind of going through a weakening cycle at the moment. I do think the worst of this, it's past Winfield at this point, and actually the worst of this, you can see now it's almost about to move into the far northwest corner here of Walker County and into Winston County. There it is right there on the county line. I mentioned a few moments ago, again, for folks traveling, certainly with all this rain, windy weather, there's going to be some gust in here easily over 45 miles per hour. So as that line moves on through, certainly not a good time to be on the road here. But Hamilton, looks like this is passing on by. Bear Creek kind of staying to the south of you. Haleyville, we're getting the rain, we're getting the lightning, but at this point, the worst of this, right in this one little area, it's about to clear. The actual warning goes until 7:15, so hopefully here soon we'll be able to end that particular warning. So I'm again getting reports in for folks there, and you know, if you're following us on social media, I know we've got Lauren standing by in the Digital Weather Center. Lauren's been actually answering questions there on social media, and we've been getting a lot of reports there coming in from this part of the coverage area. If you have any additional reports, you can share those. I want to go back over to my computer here and just show you. I've got real quickly here, Jill, got some video here of the storms. This is around Guin coming in right now. Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, we had reports. I don't know if my mic is on, but there we go. A woman just messaged WBRC. Sharon says buildings and roofs gone in Winfield, the downtown. She reports people are trapped in a pizza joint in Winfield, so we will have to see if that has actually happened in the downtown area. So I know first responders are going to be headed down there. If you're in the area, of course, stay put. You don't want to get in the way as those first responders get on the scene to assess what kind of damage has occurred there. So we're slowly getting some of those reports trickling in, maybe by folks that live in the area or they know folks that live in the Winfield area. Again, we're getting some reports there has been some damage, and again, we continue to slowly gather it. And so if you have anything you'd like to report, please send it along to us. Looks like,
hey Ryan,
yeah, the confirmation of some structural damage in Winfield from a possible tornado. And of course, the Weather Service would have to go out and assess the damage to determine whether or not it was actually a tornado or just a damaging straight line winds. Either way, we're getting reports of damage. Wes?
And I've got Ryan Carty here with me right now. Ryan, let us know, I was getting your report a few moments ago. You're located near Glen Allen?
Yes, sir. I was at the exit 34 on I-22 watching multiple power explosions and what appeared to be a cone tornado just beyond the tree line.
Okay, so you could actually observe it, I guess, with the lightning frequency. Now, Ryan, where are you at right now?
I'm just outside of the warning box. I'm going to turn around and go back and look for damage.
Okay. So you've actually you're past the line there. So you observed it, and that was from I-22 about how many minutes ago?
Hang on just 1 second, and I'll let you know.
Okay, so I've got Ryan Carty here, one of our storm spotters. He just spotted here just south of Rock City here in southern Marion County. That storm, if you can see right now, the worst of this, or where we actually had the tornado, that rotational signature is now moved over into Walker County at the moment, moving over towards the Dogtown area. Ryan, I'll let you jump back in here quickly and just let us know what you're observing.
Yes, sir. That was around 6:49. When I seen the multiple power explosions, and then as it got closer, it looked like it was riding the highway just south of I-22, right at that exit.
Okay.
And, I vacated when it got extremely close, but I'm safe now, but I'm about to turn around and go back and look for damage. All
right, Ryan. Be safe out there and keep us posted on what you're seeing. I'm going to get back over here to Storm Track, and we certainly appreciate Ryan Carty for checking in with us here and giving us a live update. And Jill just mentioned a few moments ago we did have some reports of some damage around the Winfield area. That's coming in right now, so possible tornado. What you got, Jill?
Yeah, some more specifics regarding that. Hearing from Marion County that they have streets in particular that have been impacted. We're talking about Main Street and Bankhead Highway. No word on any injuries. Officers are out on the scene and trying to figure out the damage, but the rumor is that roofs have been ripped off of some buildings. So that is the latest. We got that in. Catherine Patterson shared that with us. So we will continue to gather those reports, monitor radar trends. It looks like that particular storm has weakened. There hasn't been an extension to the tornado warning. So now our focus is down towards Fayette in that zone where we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. So that is our next area of concern. And again, the shear rate values in this area will highlight, you can see, look at that, Wes, just northeast of Crossville. We'll have to monitor that, and that is picking up on, may not have a very high tornado threat with it, but it could be producing just in general wind damage. So we want to give folks a first alert in that area. Kirkland, you're next in line, and also in the Mount Vernon area. That's where our system is picking up on some of the more intense winds.
Yeah, we want to stay on that for a few moments. The National Weather Service, they just allowed that tornado warning for southern Marion County to expire. So for folks here watching, you know, it's way too soon to find out. Even though we were in a tornado warning, we're going to have to see, you know, look at these damage assessments in there around the Winfield area, see exactly what we're looking at. And by the way, newsroom, if you're listening, we've got these reports coming in from the Winfield area. Jill mentioned Bankhead Highway. That's Highway 118 a few moments ago, runs from Ewan over to Glen Allen. So those areas we're going to watch closely. But this is another report. Okay, the Weather Service, they're actually following up on that report we just had here. But we're watching southern Lamar County at the moment. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. We've seen a little bit of indication here of some rotation happening with this particular one. Just want to wait. Let's go through a couple scans. I hate to go back to programming here and then immediately we see another tornado warning. But the National Weather Service, they're also watching this one here to the south. It's now moving into Fayette County. What we're looking at with this is possibility of some winds over 58 miles per hour. That's going to be the main concern at the moment. Some damaging straight line wind gusts and some heavy rainfall. And we could probably, Jill, go to the big picture and actually run through another forecast radar mode just to show folks as we back the view out from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham, Gadsden, our friends here, we haven't forgotten about you in Coleman, okay, and Winston County. We don't have a warning. I often say if I'm not talking about your area right now, that's a good thing because that's where we've got the active weather that's happening. This is a look at forecast radar going out through 8:05, and you can see the timing for this puts this through Coleman. The next hour, that line's going to be moving across Coleman County, so we're going to watch it closely. Not saying we're going to have a warning, but that line will move on through. And you know, hopefully with this setup, it's just all going to take a while to kind of work through here tonight. Hopefully things will kind of progress along a bit sooner. But what we really need to pay attention to is these individual storms. See right here, this one, stuff like that just really grabs my attention because you're down here where it's very unstable, not a lot of competition for these storms and some of those, if it can really get into that 80-degree air we had earlier today, it's still in the 70s tonight in parts of West Alabama. We really need to watch that. But so far, again, we've had that one tornado warning, and this is what it's going to be like tonight as we go through this evening. I don't think we'll see steady warnings at many times, but we may have to break in from time to time through tonight. That's why we went ahead and made it a First Alert Weather Day, just so we are all weather alert for tonight. Birmingham area, it looks like here as we go through 8:06, Birmingham area, we're probably talking, just based on this, I'd say 8:30, 9 o'clock, some of this starting to work in the Jefferson County. So Warrior, Graysville, be ready. Jasper, this is going to be closing in on us. You see right there between 7:30 and 8 o'clock as well, and then getting closer to Tuscaloosa. So quickly, before we sign off, I want to check back with the control room and just make sure we don't have any additional information we need to get to you here before we send it back to programming. But at the moment, what we're looking at, we've got a tornado watch for most areas until 10 o'clock tonight. Jill, let's go back quickly. This one storm that we're tracking at the moment, and it's a severe thunderstorm. I want to look at this. Just make sure we don't have a tornado trying to form here around Fayette. We'll go back to rotation, and we'll go through the whole product sweep here, the velocity. There's Mount Vernon, and there's Fayette. Looking still, got a weak rotation at the moment. You can see right there showing up on the weaker side, unlike that one storm to the north. Let me look at the storm reflectivity, base velocity, I should say, okay. And let's do the triple threat. Let me take a look at that real quickly here. And oh wow, let's do a pixel query on this right here. What you're seeing with this is a strong indication of hail. Look at that. I don't think we're seeing 3-inch size hailstones, but we were discussing earlier today with some of the cooler air aloft, some of these storms, maybe talking about some large hail, and that's an indicator, at least possibly some quarter-size hail with this storm easily that's about to move north of Fayette. So if you're north of Fayette, make sure the car is in the carport, but hopefully you are in a safe spot as this storm moves on through, because there will be some gusty winds. Okay, I'm going to sign off right now. What we're going to do is we're going to send it back to programming because we don't have any active tornado warnings happening. It's 7:08. I plan on jumping on. I'll be back here at the bottom of the hour, but just keep it right here on WBRC just in case we see another warning. We'll break in and stay with you here throughout the evening until that warning does expire. Don't forget, we're streaming online. If you have to go to your safe place tonight, you can take us with you on your mobile device, and we'll be sending you updates on the First Alert Weather app. Plenty of updates throughout the evening. Stay with us. You're watching WBRC Fox 6.
This has been a WBRC Fox 6 Weather First Alert.